All right, so we're gonna focus a lot on our lower body today. Grabbing our roller or a lacrosse ball, soup can, whatever you have. We're gonna start by rolling out our quads, so just the part in our thigh, just in the front here. So we'll start with our left leg. What you're gonna do is you're either gonna place the lacrosse ball or tennis ball or roller just above your knee. You're gonna take your opposite leg and kind of prop it out to the side, and then you can just rest on your elbows here. You're gonna move up and down nice and slow. Not fast, especially if you're using a smaller implement like a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball, right? You can take pressure off by adding more weight to your opposite side or placing more weight onto your upper body. You never want it to be too painful. We're gonna go up and down nice and slow. Remembering to breathe and relax as much as you can. Now if this feels okay, especially if you're on a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball and you want to add a little bit more compression in there, what you can do is you can add in some knee bends. So this is where you're gonna take your foot and you're gonna pull it towards your bum, keeping your hips nice and low. And just up and down as you go, right? Slowly working your way up your leg. Now also too, if you have a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball, right? You can experiment with the different angles on your leg. Right, you can go more outside edge, you can go right in the center, and you can go more inside, right? Working through the different spots. Just slowly working your way up. Get all the way up, right up into the hip crease here. Now if you have a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball, this might work a little bit better than a roller, but you can still get in there with the roller as well. Give it another 10 seconds here on this leg, and then we're going to switch legs. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, starting just above the knee, taking your opposite leg and bringing it out to the side. And working in small little sections up the leg. Again, checking out the different angles of your quad as well. The crossbow's getting away from me. And working all the way up into the hip. Adding in some knee bends. A little bit here on this leg. And then we're actually going to move on onto our shins. So just not directly along the bone here, but actually a little bit more towards the outside edge. It's just where there's nice chunky bits of muscle here. And we're gonna work through those muscles all along here, all the way from your ankle, all the way up to the knee. Now, in order to do that, you can either use, again, your roller or your lacrosse ball or tennis ball. If you have a roller, what you're gonna do is you're literally just gonna place your leg on top of that roller in a kneeling position. So I'm gonna have my one knee off to the side, the other leg on the roller here, but angled towards that outside edge, right? So I'm a little bit more towards the outside. Actually, you can't really see because I'm on this mat. Okay, let's do this. There we go. There, a little bit more towards the outside edge here, and I'm slowly working my way up and down my shin. If you have a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball, same thing, right? You just have the ball instead. And you're slowly gonna work your way up or down the leg, right? If this is uncomfortable for you, you can also sit down. If you have a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball, you can do it this way. It's kind of like you're doing your windshield wipers, but you have a ball under your shin instead. Let's work and do that. Now, when you're doing your rolling on your shin, right, you could do little bits of extra movement, right? You could do some toe circles, clockwise, counterclockwise, right? You could do some flexion and pointer flexion of the toes, right, up and down. Go with what gives you a little bit more feedback. Again, if you find a spot that's giving you a good amount of feedback, just hang out there, breathe, do some circles with your foot, and then move on. This helps if you have like shin splints, anything like that. If you're running a lot, this is a really good thing to do, right? So, we're gonna switch legs now, same thing on the other side. Okay, up and down. Working your way. Okay, you can add in your toe circles. Moving your toes up and down. Really concentrating on those spots that are giving you more feedback. And just remembering to breathe. Happy eyebrows, everybody. Last little bit here on that side. All right, next up, we're gonna work on our calves. So we worked on our shins here. Now we're gonna work on the back side of the leg. So again, you can take either your roller or your ball. Right, same thing, we're just gonna start close to the ankles and we're gonna work our way up. And again, always like trying the different angles, right? Because you're gonna feel tension in different areas. So you can go inside and outside edges, right in the center. And then also, again, adding in a little bit of movement. So you could do your toe circles, you can do your dorsiflexion and your plantar flexion, right? Pulling the toes up and then pointing them down. And then working your way a little higher, doing the same thing. Circles. Up and down. lot of my tension is along that outside edge, my calves. But everybody's different. Slowly working your way up. Work your way all the way up, just before you hit the back of your knee. And then we'll switch sides. All right, other side. Same thing. Guest appearance. She's sitting behind the scenes today. And don't forget those toe circles, the dorsiflexion, plantar flexion of the foot, up and down. Just taking the time to relax the body. Working your way all the way up the calf. Oh yeah, getting some squinty faces here. Some people have some tight calves, I guess. What is that noise? It's one of the GPS thingies. Okay. All right. Now we're going to move on to our glutes. Now, with a lacrosse ball, it is a little bit more intense, so make sure you ease into it and don't just jump right into rolling out your glutes. If you have a roller, it'll be a little bit less sensitive. So what I want you to do is we're just gonna roll out one side at a time, and I'm kind of angled on the roller as well. You can experiment with, again, the different angles of it, but we're gonna go more for our glute med, which is kind of like in this area here, right? So towards the back, kind of like 45-degree angle on your glute here. You're gonna sit on that roller or the lacrosse ball, kind of ease your weight into it, especially if you have a ball. And just go up and down, nice and easy. If this feels fine, right, and it's not too intense, what I want you to do, so I'm rolling out my right side, I'm gonna take my right foot, bend my knee, and place it on my left ankle. What that does is it just opens up your glute a little bit. Just roll up and down, kind of change the angle a little bit. You go more towards the center of your glute, or you can go more towards the outside edge, just kind of feeling where you're getting more feedback. Now, if you want to add in some active movement here, right, you can do some knee bends. So taking your foot off your knee and then bending and extending that leg. You can also do some reverse clamshells, I guess. So you're just going opening and closing. Just like that. Feet together, pull the knee up, and then relax it back down. Checking out a different angle, doing the same thing. Last little bit here on this glute, and then we're gonna switch sides. Same thing, other side. All right. So we're gonna turn over, other side, same thing. So this time I'm on my left glute. Start by just rolling up and down. If that feels okay, you can place your knee or your ankle on your knee. Keep rolling around. Stay. That's not gonna work. If you find a spot that's really sensitive, just hang on and breathe. Stay on that one spot. Take some big inhales and exhales. You do some movements as it starts to go down. Right, so you're just gonna bend and extend that leg. Some plans. So pull the feet together, knees together, and then relax the knees back down, up and down. Nice and easy. Last little bit on this side. And then we're going to move on to our hamstrings. Now there's a couple different ways that you can roll out your hamstrings. If you have a ball, I would suggest you do it on a chair or a bench or something that has a hard surface. If you have a chair that has a cushion on it, maybe place a book on top of that. So basically, if you have a ball, right, you're gonna take your chair, place the ball on the chair, and you're literally just gonna sit on it. So you're gonna sit on it just past your glute. So it's gonna be right about there on the leg. Okay, and then you're gonna sit down. Again, only put as much pressure as you need on that. You could do the same thing with the roller, right? Experiment with that. And then as you come to a more sensitive area, you're gonna floss it. So you're just going to bend and extend that leg. Feels really, really good. Right, and again, experiment with different angles of the hamstring and working your way down towards the knee. All right, if you have a roller, you're just going to sit on it, just like that. Just like how you would roll your calves, your glutes, same thing, right? Experiment with inside, outside. I love watching the different techniques. It's fun. Just up and down, right? If you're sitting on the floor with a roller, right? You can still do some foot circles. You can do some plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, the toes. You can't get quite as deep into it as you can with the ball, but that's okay. And again, add as much pressure as you want. Right? You can sit fully on top of it, or you can lean forward. If you hinge, it kind of eases some of that tension a little bit. Put a little weight into your hands instead. Kind of work your way up your hamstring. All right, we're going to switch sides whenever you're ready. Do the same thing on the other side. Starting up towards your glute. And working your way down. Oh, that's a fun one too. You extend the leg and then you just do a little swivel. Kind of swivel that leg around. That feels really nice. Remember to breathe. Happy eyebrows. We're having a great time. And slowly work your way down to your knee. I wish we didn't have to mute everybody. It'd be fun. I just see squinty faces. This kind of rolling is really good to do. You could do it as much as you like. You maybe, well no, maybe not as much as you like, but like once a day is good, right? Before or after exercise. If you do it before exercise, it helps to mobilize the body. If you do it after exercise, it helps with recovery. Working your way all the way just before you get to your knee. Pause a little bit on this other side. All right. Shake that out a little bit. Good job, everybody. Okay, so next what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little bit of stretching. So for this one, I would suggest that you definitely want to have a mat for sure. So if you don't have a mat, I would also suggest maybe like a good dense pillow, or if you take like a blanket and kind of fold it up a bunch of times. We're gonna do something called the couch stretch, where you're placing your knee on the ground. So you'll just want a little bit of cushion for that. You can either use a couch or a chair, or you could be placing your foot up against the wall. I'm going to be showing you from the chair just so you can see it from the side view here. Right? So you either need a little space along the wall, or a couch, a chair, something to place your foot on. That's it. All right, so we're going to start on all fours here. We're gonna take our right foot and you're gonna either place it up against the wall or on top of the chair. And then from here, we're gonna take our left foot and bring it forward. And then we're gonna posture up, nice and tall. Hopefully your chair doesn't move like mine is. Now, in this position, I want you to think about your alignment. So I want you to make sure that your heel is directly behind your bum, and that we've lined up our knee, our hip, our shoulder, and our ear. I'm just gonna hold on to my chair. There we go. Just like that. Good. If you're in this position and it feels okay, I want you to vacuum your core, so tighten up your stomach and squeeze your right butt cheek. And that's just gonna intensify the stretch. So you're gonna do that in a couple breaths. You're gonna squeeze and hold for a 1-2 count, and then relax. And again, you're gonna squeeze and hold for a 1-2, and then you're gonna relax. Let's do that about 5 times. Good. All right. We're gonna bring our hands back down. We're gonna slide our left foot back and bring our right foot back down. Now we're gonna switch sides here. So we're gonna take our left foot now, place it up against the chair or the wall. And we're gonna bring our right foot forward. And then we're gonna posture up nice and tall. Again, lining everything up. Good, guys. Big deep breaths here. Again, we're going to vacuum the core, so tighten up your stomach and squeeze your bum for 1-2 count, and then relax. Do that 5 times. Big inhale and squeeze, and then relax. Once you've done it 5 times, relax the hands down, bring your right foot back, and then your left foot down. Now we're going to do it one more time on either side just to make sure we got a good amount of stretching in our quads here. And then we're going to also add in an additional stretch on top of it. So again, we're going to take our right foot and place it on the chair here. We're going to bring our left foot forward, and we're going to posture up nice and tall. Big deep breaths here. And we go right into the squeezing and holding for a 1-2 count, and then relaxing. Again, we're doing 5. From this position, we're going to bring our hands down, and we're actually going to slide our left foot forward and kind of get deeper into that stretch. Now what we're trying to create is a straight line from the top of our head down to our right knee. Now you can also do this without the wall. So if you find that it's a little bit tough on your knee, you could do this from the floor as well. So just foot flat, right? Bring your hips forward. And then we're trying to flatten out our back. So you can do it this way, and we're trying to get a good stretch into our hip right here. Trying to flatten everything out. Now, so this is level 1 here. Level 2 is if you have your foot on the wall or a chair, right? Level 3, if you want a little bit more than that, what I want you to do is you're gonna lift your foot, and you're actually gonna grab it with your opposite hand. So if my right foot is up, I'm going to grab it with my left. We're going to give ourselves a little twist. Right, we're going to pull the shoulders back, lift the chest, and pull your foot towards your bum. Now if you're in this position here, I want you to try and do some rotations. So you're going to take your left hand, and instead of grabbing your foot, you're just going to rotate towards the ceiling and then come back down. And rotate. Oh, looking good, guys. Good. And then bringing it back. And now we're going to switch sides. So we'll start with that quad stretch. Right? So your foot's going to be up against the wall or a chair, or I'm just going to hold it just like this. This works too. Right? And you're going to do your core squeeze and glute squeeze for a count of 2, and then relax. Once you're done with the quad stretch, right, we're going to get into our hips. So we're gonna sneak our right foot forward this time. Hands are down on the inside of that right foot. We're trying to create a straight line as much as we can from the top of our head down to our left knee. And then we can add in those rotations. Right? And remember, you can have your foot on a chair, or you could take your right hand and grab onto that left foot. Opening up the chest, pulling the shoulder back. Breathing in big. Those are your 3 options. Just relax back down. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit more into the hip and do something pretty similar. So we're going to start with our left foot forward and our right foot back and get into a similar position that we just had. We want to line up our arms with our front leg. But this time we're going to get our toes up underneath us on our back foot. From here we're going to flatten out our back, puff out our chest, and we're going to straighten out that back leg and then just tap it back down on the ground. And we're going to lift and straighten, squeeze your glute, and then lower back down. We're going to do 10 of those. Once you've done 10, then we're just going to get into a bit of a hamstring stretch here. So we're going to relax our back foot down. We're going to stick our butt out, and we're going to straighten out our left leg and try to really sit back on our heel, but also think about our posture. So we want chest out, shoulders back. We can get into our hamstring a little bit. Bring it back up and go to the other side. So bringing our right foot forward now, hands are on the inside of that right foot, lining up our arms with that leg, puff out the chest, shoulders are down away from the ears, up on the toe on your left foot, and then straightening out that left leg. Give yourself a good glute squeeze at the top and then lower back down. Again, we're doing 10. Once you've done 10, lower back down. We're going to ease into that hamstring stretch on the right side now. Right, so sitting back on our heel, keep that right leg straight, and try to flatten out your back as much as you can. A couple of glute stretches here. Now there are several ways that you can do a glute stretch, and it just depends on what feels more comfortable for you. First option is we're going to be sitting on our bum, our feet are going to be down, knees are up. Then we're going to take one foot, doesn't matter which one, place your ankle on your opposite knee, and then from here try to bring your the foot that's down in towards your bum. Lift the chest and pull the shoulders back. You should start to feel a bit of a stretch in your glute. Right? If this is too hard on your upper body, you could do the exact same thing lying down. right? So same thing lying down, right? You're lying on your back, but I want you to think about chest out, shoulders back, and then you can pull your knee in towards your chest. So just wrapping your fingers around your right leg and then pulling it in towards your chest, just keeping the shoulders back. Chest out, shoulders back. Just lie on your back. Just whatever feels more comfortable for you. You can also do this one seated as well, actually. I didn't even think about that. Third option, sit in a chair. Place, again, your left ankle on your right knee, and then from here, you're just bringing your chest towards your leg. So that's the third option there. That makes it a little bit easier. So many options. Okay, same thing on your other side now. So this time, left foot is down, right ankle on your left knee. Right, lift the chest, pull the shoulders back. There we go. And then you can kind of sneak yourself in. Right, it makes a huge difference if you kind of collapse your upper body, you don't feel anything at all, versus if you lift the chest and pull the shoulders back, then you'll start to feel a good stretch in your glutes. It's crazy, that difference, just going from here to here. Same thing if you're lying on your back, right? Always just thinking about your posture. Couple more big deep breaths here. And then relax it back down. Now we're going to go into our windshield wipers just a little bit. We're going to do this one quickly. So sitting on your bums, we're going to have your hands back behind you. Again, always thinking about that posture. And then your feet are going to go wider than your shoulders. From here, we're just going to drop the knees from one side to the other side. Really thinking about turning the hips and trying to get both knees to the ground. We're working on that internal and external rotation of the hips. There we go. Do a couple more. Then we'll bring our knees to our right side. We're going to place our hands on either side of that right knee. Now from here, again, always thinking about that posture like somebody's pulling a string out the top of your head. We're going to try to bring our belly button towards our knee as we bring our chest down. And then we're going to curl back up. So again, always thinking about that posture as you're coming down. And then curling back up. Do 3 more of these guys. And then we'll switch sides. Do a couple windshield wipers before you switch sides. And this time, hands on either side of that left knee. Same thing, right? Thinking about that posture, pulling your belly button to your knee, and then curling back up. Stand up. For this last one, it's also another more of a dynamic stretch. Again, we're going for the hamstrings for this one. I want you to think about keeping your hips and legs square throughout this movement, right? So we don't want to let things kind of go like wonky all over the place. We want to stay nice and square, shoulders, hips, and feet. Right, from here we're going to take our left foot, we're going to bring it forward onto our heel and have a soft bend to our right knee. But I'm still keeping everything nice and square, right? My toe is up, right? I'm bending my back leg and I'm gonna sit my hips back, hinging forward, still maintaining nice posture. And then I'm gonna sweep through and stand up. So I'm gonna sweep my hands down, reach for my toes and come back up. Good. And reach and sweep. See how low you can get. Reach and sweep. There we go. Thinking about our back leg as well, making sure that our toes are still pointed in the same direction, straight forward. Making sure that knee doesn't cave in. Done, guys. All right, and then switching sides. Same thing, other side. Everything is nice and square. We're gonna send the hips back, soft bend to the knee, reach and sweep up. Thinking about that posture. Don't let the back round. Do one more on this side. Good. Nicely done. We did it.